What's good, everybody? It is your boy Tony the Savant. Salute, salute. Hope everybody's having a good to great day, man. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're pulling up to this video. All right, let's cut the malarkey. All right, it's a lot of nonsense going on right now, and I'm a little bit, I'm tired of it. All right, I'll just be honest. I'm tired of it. Why is recency bias uh such a plague in sports, man? Why do people forget what happened 5 minutes ago? All right, it has not been an entire calendar year since Joel Embiid melted down in the playoffs. All right, the greatest performance drop off that any NBA MVP has had from regular season to postseason play. That title belongs to no other than Joel Embiid. LeBron James is number two, but Joel Embiid had a 10 point, I think a 10.1 point drop off from regular season to NBA season. I mean to the postseason. Excuse me. Last season. Let's not forget him and James Harden co-starred in one of the greatest meltdowns from a team that had high expectations. You know, I would have said that last year's 76ers team is better than this 76ers team, give or take. You know, just give or take. Um, I digress. Playoff Himmy is here. All right, I don't know why it's so much speculation on what's gonna happen. I just watched a few Miami Heat channels. I just watched the 176ers channel. I watched Undisputed. Yes, I watched Undisputed, y'all. I suffered. It was a snooze fest. Paul Pierce was just up there saying whatever. These dudes ain't got much integrity at all in the mainstream, man. It's hard. It's hard. I'm hard pressed to understand how these guys get paid so much money to do what they do. Because literally, I enjoy Paul Pierce. For 1 week, one calendar week this year, he was my favorite sports analyst. And then he started capping. Nonetheless, this ain't a Paul Pierce video. I ain't gonna do that. He was just up there just saying whatever. But I had to, I sift through, some of my sources and trying to see what the temperature in the room was. A lot of people are acting as if Joel Embiid has had some kind of epic playoff performance that we can hang our hats on. There's only one guy on that court, that's going to be on the basketball court tonight, that we can hang our hats on, put our money down on, and say that, yeah, he more than likely going to show up in the playoffs. And his name is not Joel Embiid, ladies and gentlemen. I know that y'all know that. We can stop the cap. We can cut the malarkey, please. Nonetheless, it's your boy Tony the Savant. Welcome to the Peat Basketball Show, episode 8. Just moving right along. Thank y'all for pulling up, man. We getting to work. All right, this live stream is it's gonna be one of them streams that if you're a you're a Joel Embiid fan, you might want to go ahead and click off now. You're not gonna enjoy the dialogue that we're about to have. Because on one end, I want to go through the X's and O's. I want to talk about the actual basketball game. The 76ers are hot right now. All right. Outside of the Boston Celtics, give or take Orlando Magic, they are the second or third best Eastern Conference team. They are on an 8-game winning streak coming into this play-in tonight. And I don't think there's any other team that you would want to face in the playoffs right now. Maxi's clicking. I don't know a lot of their players, but I watched a few of their games, and the 76ers, their record doesn't really match up to what the performance that they have. All things considered, though, when they had Joel in the beginning of the season, they was a number two, the second best team in the conference, and they suffered without Joel coming off an MVP season. All things considered, I'm not a big fan of Joel Embiid as far as being a believer that he's an MVP caliber player. Opinions, I've seen many opinions uh, across the board when it comes to Joel Embiid. Mine is that I think he's a spectacular talent, definitely one of the elite big men in the league right now, although, it's not many to pick from. He is one of the elite big men in the league right now. But as far as putting my money on Joel Embiid, I would not. Joel Embiid is the James Harden of centers. Okay, that's how I'm looking at it. He seems to have these meltdowns when the lights are the brightest, and it was kind of glaring that that the 76ers, Daryl Morey, would pair the two up, because why would you bring James Harden around anybody that you want to build up to be a winner? James Harden is not a winner. I'm of the opinion that, yeah, the Clippers, they all right over there, but I don't think they're gonna do much because they acquired James Harden. That acquisition is gonna come back and bite them in the butt, just like it did to Joel Embiid, the 76ers, Daryl Morey, and Doc Rivers. Shout out to Ticket. Doc Rivers, I'm a listening man. You know what I mean? I listen to a lot. That's why I very much enjoy when people that listen to me, interject with their comments, y'all's thoughts, y'all's opinions, because I listen. Trust me, I read everything. I may not be able to get to answer everything, but as soon as I get a little downtime and I sit down, I'm a reading man. I'm a listening man. So when y'all give me your opinions and your thoughts, I really listen. So shout out to the big homie Ticket TV. Make sure y'all swing by his YouTube and give him a subscription, subscribe and all that good stuff, because he really changed my thoughts and my perspective on Doc Rivers. I had not noticed that Doc Rivers had been dealing with proverbial losers. You know what I mean? It's hard to coach when your players give up on you. And something that Doc Rivers had in 2008 that he has not had since or before is players that would just tap out mentally. Shout out to my boy T Mac. That was my favorite basketball player growing up, even over Kobe. You know, when I got on the court, I used to act like Kobe, but when I played 2K, I always rock with the Rockets, Orlando Magic, whatever team Prime T Mac was on it when I was in my playing days. But he was another, he was the Paul George 1.0. Phenomenal talent. When the lights got the brightest, he just seemed to. Where did playoff T Man go? Where did playoff P go? You know what I mean? I enjoy podcast P. Playoff P is good for 2 rounds. The first 2 rounds of the playoff, Western Conference and beyond. Ain't seen them. But beyond that, tonight, Joel Embiid is another one of those guys on that list that Doc Rivers has had to suffer with. And outside of last season, I'm using that as an anomaly, you know what I mean? But it was his MVP season. So going into the postseason, me, I just evaluate talent, man. I evaluate heart. I love the numbers. I like going through you averaging 30 points a game, 10 rebounds. I like doing all that too. Trust me, I like looking at the numbers. I can do that. But when it comes down to watching the game as a former basketball player, as a former athlete, not gonna say former, I'm still an athlete. I've since hung up my basketball sneakers in exchange for fatherhood. That's my new sport now. But anyway, I was expecting a lot from Joel, man. I was happy that he got his acknowledgement. Although I thought last year should have been Joker's third MVP. I think Joker should have pulled the Larry Bird 3 consecutive MVPs because he deserved it. And if he didn't show it at any other time, it was the finals run. You know what I mean? Like, he got the job done. But nonetheless, Joel was chosen. I wasn't totally against that. So at that point, I'm expecting MVP performances from that point on. Once you get your acknowledgement, there's no going back. If Joel Embiid had a stinker the year prior to him having, if he had his meltdown per se in 2022, I wouldn't hold it to him. I wouldn't hold his feet to the fire as much as I am now, because once you get the acknowledgement, there's no going back. No, you're amongst the greats now. So you can't have a 10-point drop off in your averages, or a 10 percentage, drop off in your averages, or a 5% drop off in your free throw averages. It's just unacceptable. And I get on to LeBron James. excuse me, I get on the LeBron James a lot for the same reason. Is because I expect a lot from you. I ain't trying to just you know uh, ridicule you just to ridicule you. But nonetheless, tonight we get in a play-in tournament game between the Miami Heat and the 76ers, and I was going through some tape, looking at highlights. Jimmy Butler, man, is just the embodiment of a leader, the embodiment of grit, grind. I would so love for Jimmy Butler to win a championship with the Miami Heat, man. I just think that he should be solidified as a Miami Heat legend. Nothing would do that more than him getting a chip, of course. And as much as I love Joker, Jamal Murray, and what they got going on over there in Denver, I really root for Jimmy Buckets. Goons, what's going on, brother? The Real Two Goons TV, man. Make sure y'all swing by my brother's channel and subscribe to him. Doing great work as well. Salute, what's good, buddy? I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man. For real. Been doing my homework, you know what I mean? Hard work pays off, so I definitely appreciate the love and acknowledgement. Make sure y'all swing by my bro's channel and check out his content as well. But I really cheer for Jimmy Butler, man. I really root for those underdogs. Not even to mention that he played for my Chicago Bulls. I actually saw Jimmy Butler go from, prospect to star. Um, and even since he's left the Bulls, he's evolved, and improved his game. And like I say, I've been rooting for Jimmy since forever. He actually played in Marquette college that D Wade played at, and also one of my cousins. My cousin went to college with D Wade. To this day, this nigga still love D Wade. I mean, amongst all the craziness that went down with D Wade since 2002, or whenever D Wade and my cousin was in college. Uh, he still rock with this boy. I appreciate the loyalty. My people, we are loyal people, man. We love you, man. So nonetheless, Jimmy Butler is one of those. I guess you could say he's my D Wade to a degree. So like same kind of correlation with my cousin, because I really been rocking with Buddy since day one, even when he was back in his college days. Jimmy Butler is just a hard worker. I guess you could say I'm a blue collar guy, so I really like the blue collar guys. And so I would love for Himmy to get a ring. Anytime you put Jimmy Butler in a fire, he gonna show and prove. I was not shocked. I'm probably the only person outside of Miami and Wade County that wasn't surprised that the Miami Heat was able to go on a run that they went on last year, because, like I said, I've been watching Jimmy since day one. He used to do that same work for the Bulls. It's just when I get to the Bulls episode, bro, I'm gonna do the next episode, because I got to. I feel like the Chicago Bulls is like my family. You know what I mean? I can badmouth them, y'all can't. I could talk greasy about them because, good Lord, you know what I mean? Between them and the White Sox, they just be breaking the boy heart, bro. But I'm still loyal, you know what I'm saying? I'm still pulling up to the city. I'm gonna pull up to some games. I would love to be in attendance for to root for the Bulls game tonight. But I'll be rooting from the TV screen. But as far as Himmy Butler, man, I'm really rooting for them. I think Miami's gonna get the job done. My only concern and only worry for them is that I know that these playoff runs, they add up. They definitely begin to add up. The Jimmy Butler led Miami Heat have been going on deep playoff runs for years, since 2020. I think that's what the year that he got there, 2020 or 2019. Got to the finals in 2020. It's been Eastern Conference Finals ever since, and another finals run last year. Fatigue can add up. If nothing else, we just seen it with the Golden State Warriors 24 hours ago. Excuse me. Eventually, all that winning, it wears on you. The 76ers, with I say, especially with a guy like Maxey, they're coming in a little bit more rejuvenated, a little bit younger. Miami has some pieces as well, some younger talent as well. Tyler Hero is healthy. So that could be a good addition for them. Bam is still a fairly young guy. Bam is in his prime. I say Jimmy on the back end of his prime, but still, the core of this team outside of Tyler Hero, maybe you could say, The core of this team has been on deep playoff runs, and fatigue can become a factor. So that's my only real concern tonight for Miami. My number two concern is goes hand in hand, no pun intended, with, again, I feel like the 76ers have been the number two team in the East with Joel Embiid outside of Boston. Giannis in Milwaukee, well, I don't know what the hell's going on over there. Orlando, I've been rooting for them. The young bucks over there with Ben Caro and Wagner, and just the band of bandits over there. They really been balling, but they're still young. They I think they in that same realm that the Oklahoma City Thunder are in, but still a year. They're still about 2 years behind schedule, if I had to just evaluate. But 76ers have been there, even without Joel. They kind of kept the ship mainly. It was much turbulence when Joel wasn't there, but they've been able to right the ship again on the 8-game winning streak. They went on a 3-game winning streak before Joel pulled up, 5-game winning streak, including a victory over the Miami Heat, where Joel put up, I think, then a 30-burger. I think he had like 28 or 29 points. So the 76ers, they in their stride, and I think this is something that's a little bit more relevant in the NFL world, football world. But sometimes you can be a bum all season long and then get on that, on that stride right in the postseason and be, a hot team to get on the run. Because everybody that I was listening to, a lot of people are projecting that the 76ers would be in the conference finals. And this is where my frustrations, I'm sorry, y'all, I jumped on the mic a little frustrated because it's like, y'all just didn't remember this dude, Joel. I'm not trying to knock the guy. Y'all like Joel Embiid. I think he's one of the old school type player, in some degrees. But I'm not gonna sit here and I can't forget that you had a 10-point drop off in your MVP season, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's unacceptable. So everybody just capping as if that didn't happen, and they're projecting the 76ers to go to the conference finals. Now, I can see that happening, just because the East is so shaky. We don't know what Milwaukee's going to do. And I'm not going to put it on Doc Rivers neither, man. I think we gotta start talking about Dame Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I'm going to say that, I'm going to say that conversation for the next episode. We will have that conversation, though. But the 76ers, again, I say that they do have the best trajectory looking at the brackets to get to the conference finals. But I'm just, as much as I'm a reading man, y'all, and a numbers guy, all that stuff, and I love to evaluate talent, I don't forget. I got an elephant's memory, bro. I don't forget nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for that, because I just cannot sit here confidently. And I'm not a betting man, but I would say hypothetically, in a betting situation, I would, if I had $100 to just bet and throw away, and somebody put a gun in my head and said I had to put my money on Joel Embiid, I wouldn't feel comfortable at all. And not to the point where I'd be willing to lose my life, but it's like, damn, gee, I could, if I just had to throw away $100, I'd rather just throw it to the wind, bro. I do not trust Joel Embiid. I don't trust him. But anyway, we'll see what happens tonight. Again, the 76ers are the hottest team in the league, I would say, coming into the playoffs. Best team in the Eastern Conference, not named Boston, the Boston Celtics. And with all things considered, fatigue could play a part. Fatigue could definitely play a part against the Miami Heat tonight. But I hate to vote against him, say playoff Himmy. Bam tends to elevate his game in the playoffs as well. Tyler Hero, I don't know. I've always been a mixed opinion of Tyler Hero. I like the guy, but he just seems like to be a character sometimes. But we'll see what he can do. I trust Jimmy Butler's leadership in that regard. And they got that young man, but the Triple J, Juan Urias, I think his name. I think that he'll play be a good energy player for him, although he's a rookie, so he's gonna have to find his place. Definitely in playoff time, Maxi gonna have a big game. What you think? I think Maxi. That's why I say, bro. Like, if the 76ers are clicking, Jimmy Butler can go out here and have a 45-point game, 50 point. If the 76ers are clicking, the Miami's going to lose. The Miami just don't have enough firepower, I say, as far as consistent firepower. Now, they got some shooting. They got Duncan. I'm not sure if Kevin Love is healthy or not. Do they still got Kevin Love? I haven't heard his name in a while. I haven't been really following Miami a lot. I just recently did about 2 or 3 days ago, excuse me. Did start my research for this particular video. But yeah, I think Maxi can definitely do it. I think Maxi put up a 50 burger this season. One of the youngest guys, definitely got a lot of potential. And if the Philadelphia 76ers are clicking, they definitely can get it done. But we're talking about the playoffs, where it's all X's and O's. And also Miami and Philadelphia are rivals. These guys knows each other's playbooks. It's not like you're going against an opponent, the Charlotte Hornets or something. You know what I mean? Like, nah, the 76ers and the Miami Heat have been battling for years. So this is going to be a chess game, just like it's going to be with Miami Heat. If Miami was to advance and go against the Celtics, it's going to be another chess match. Same with the 76ers. If they have to go link up with the Celtics. But I say it's a lot of speculation because what I just seen with the Warriors, and I actually, I don't do the betting thing, goons. That's not my thing. But I did place a small $10 bet because I thought we was gonna get another virtuoso Steph Curry performance, perhaps last night, and they was gonna find a way to get past the Kings because the Kings have been consistent all year. But again, fatigue. I feel like fatigue played a part against the Warriors, and also their youth played a part for the Kings. So the Kings was just faster, man. They were just faster, but they just looked like a younger, more hungrier team. And I don't like using those, hyperbolic terms when I'm doing my reporting. But if I have to keep it $1, the Warriors just look like they was, when you go to the Y, when you go to the local gym, sometimes the young boys, they'll be running the court, and you get an older team on the court. Sometimes the older team can win, off IQ, good plays, cuts, all that stuff. But sometimes it's just a matter of athleticism and these guys just being younger, and it's their time. Let's be frank. Steph Curry's 36. Dre and Clay are 34, so I just feel like that fatigue can work against you. Jimmy Butler is 34, so that's again another thing that we got to start realizing. We grew up with these guys for sure, these last 10, 15 years, but the era of the 2010s, those guys that was on they come up and in their primes, and at that time, these guys are in their twilight years, and there's a new generation of players coming up. So, yeah, Tyrese Maxey, he's in that new generation. Joel Embiid is still young. Like I say, Joel. So I had to put it in the title respectfully. It's MVP Joel. I don't trust him. Okay? I do not trust him. I'm on record. But I do feel like if the 76ers get hot, it's going to be behind MVP Joel. MVP Joel Embiid is a beast. The man plays like Jordan, Hakeem, and Kobe. You know what I mean? Like he's a 7-foot center. So I love Joel Embiid's game. I'll pick him on 2K. If I can control Joel Embiid's game, yeah, I trust him. I just don't trust Joel Embiid. But he does have the skill set to get the job done. I'm just concerned about, are you going to actually get the job done? Because it just seems like when the pressure is on, I know the playoff lights are a lot brighter than the regular season lights. When the playoffs are going on, everybody is watching. All the casuals are watching. All of your mama might be watching. I know my mama, she be peeking in on sports. You know what I mean? So she won't watch one regular season. She's more of a Bulls fan. So she know DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, those kind of names. But she'll peek in, and So I know the pressure of the playoffs could just be a little bit greater in that aspect, just on the minute level. Ain't no telling with the kind of pressure the athletes are feeling. But at the same time, when the lights are the brightest, that's when your game is supposed to be the best. And again, if you're an MVP, if you've shown us that you're an MVP, you put that out there in the universe, and it's known. Joel Embiid is one of them guys. He's a him. Then let's get it. Let's get it. You're getting paid the big bucks. All right, you're getting the marketability, you're getting the commercials, all that, blah, blah, blah. Let's get it. Now it's time to show up and show out. This is why we love Michael Jordan. This is why we revere LeBron James. I got my criticism about him, but shit, LeBron then got the job done at times when he needed to get the job done. That's why we love Kobe. That's why we love Tim Duncan. That's why we love the champions. No matter what your opinion is of these gentlemen, you have to respect them because they got the job done when the lights was the brightest, the stakes was all on the line, everything, the marbles was up. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? They got the job done. So once again, tonight, that's just me evaluating everything. But me as a fan, as a guy that's just sitting down watching the game, I'm going for the Himmy Butler. I think playoff Himmy you can never go against. But I also said the same damn thing about Game 6 Clay. And Klay Thompson got me out here looking back. I'm out here talking about Klay is back. He went on that hot little streak, for about 4 weeks, man. Nigga was averaging 21, 6 rebounds, 5 was like, oh, Klay back. Oh, we back. We finna, yeah, okay. 0 points, y'all. Donuts, not a nan, none of the show for no assist. Excuse me. I think he had 4 assists, but no steals, nothing, just nothing, no Klay Thompson to be found, man. So we'll see what happens with that. But nonetheless, tonight, let's see what Jimmy Butler, Coach Spo. Let's see if they got one more run in them, man, because I'm cheering for him. K killed a couple of my slips, bro. I know he had to. The thing about it is, when I was watching it, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I couldn't believe it last year, Goose, when I was watching him have his meltdown, against the Lakers. I was like, what is this? What am I watching, bro? Because I was there, for the whole Golden State rise and the ascension of that team. I've seen Klay Thompson on the come up. I've seen him working hard. Only thing I could really think of is those injuries added up, man. And I thank God I never had a serious injury in my athletic career. Sprained ankles was the worst thing I ever had. I endured that a few times. Sprained ankles are the worst for me. But I can only imagine tearing your ACL and your MCL and then not playing the sport you love, in your prime for 2 years, essentially. Almost 3. I think Klay was out for like 900 days. He couldn't believe it either. Yeah, man. It might be his mind right now. So, yeah. I think D-Rose, I remember Derrick Rose talking about that. This is the first time I ever really had a insight as to the mind frame you have after an injury. Derrick Rose really talked about it in depth after coming back from I think the second time he pulled his ACL. Or not pulled it, but tore it. And he was just talking about, just how, you're so scared that it's going to happen again. So, you're watching, even though you're capable of jumping, like you used to, or running as fast as you used to, your mind is saying, I remember this, happened last time. Let's not, so it does take away from your confidence. I definitely know that. Speaking out on yourself, you got to be positive things. Yeah. And that's crazy you say that because he was expressing that on the podcast on Draymond Green's show. And I've always thought Klay Thompson to be like the laid back type, don't really let anything bother him. But he was really giving some insight on his mind frame, these past 4 years. Klay Thompson's really been through it, man. For a guy to, you got to remember 2019 was the last prime Klay Thompson. So Klay Thompson at that time was talking about he wasn't sacrificing any of his game for Kevin Durant. And he stood on business. because he said that because Klay Thompson was already acknowledged as the second best option, a reliable second best option behind the ascending superstar Steph Curry. And if y'all don't know, it was Draymond Green that asked. Draymond Green and Bob Myers are the ones that went and got Kevin Durant. Steph Curry signed off on it because they had the, you know what I mean. He didn't get in the car and make no calls. Klay Thompson didn't give a damn. He was like, forget KD, we don't need him. Okay, Klay Thompson was always in his mind, I'm that guy, you know what I mean? And ain't nothing, he always had that ironclad confidence. I can only imagine suffering the injuries that he suffered, and that just taken away from your iron, your armor, and I even to this day, I'm 35. Again, I kind of, I'll get out there and play from time to time. If I'm working out, if I'm in one of those workout spurts in my life, and I'm feeling healthy and all that, and the boys always calling, you want to come out and hoop? Yeah, I might go out there. I might answer the call 1 or 2 times, at that point. But I can only, and I haven't lost a step or any confidence, as far as my game. But I've never suffered injury, as severe as Klay Thompson. So I can only imagine, getting back out there, playing on the biggest stages and not being able to be yourself. Because the last time Klay Thompson was himself, he was a big contributor to a championship team. He actually suffered his injuries in an NBA Finals on the biggest stage. So it's not like he suffered his injury in the middle of a season during a losing streak, where you losing confidence. No, Klay Thompson was his prime self when he suffered his injury. In addition to that, he's had to battle back and come back, and he was happened to, he kind of was a passenger on that championship ride. 2 years ago, the Warriors had that was all Steph. Steph just went superhuman at the right time. Nobody even had the Warriors winning the championship. So unfortunately, Klay Thompson wasn't even a contributor to the. I'm not gonna knock him for that. He had some buckets. He was just a role player at that point. He wasn't the certified second best option at that time. 2 years ago, you could argue Jordan Poole's the second best option, or Draymond when he was acting right and on his game. But nonetheless, again, I feel bad for Klay. I don't want to make this a video decentralized on him. I'm hoping the best for my boy, and hopefully, whatever he decides to do, I'm advocating for him to retire. I don't want to see Klay in another jersey. I want him to keep some of his mystique, some of his allure, some of his legendariness in his Warriors uniform. Because if he goes to another team, I said this earlier on my morning show. If he goes to another team, man, all of the mainstream media is going to do is continue to devalue Klay Thompson. They're going to find a way to start saying, oh, is Luka Doncic a better shooter than Klay Thompson? If Luka goes high and have a game where he hits 11 threes, they're gonna say Luka a better shooter than Klay. And we all know that's cap. Klay in his prime was revered as the second best shooter all time. Not just in the league. They was talking about Klay is second best all time in his prime. So I would hate for the media and just recency bias to bite Klay in the behind after all of the work he put in. 4 championships, even the ability to lower his ego to play with a guy like Steph Curry. Steph Curry is a pretty humble guy, but let's not get it twisted. The proverbial Scottie Pippen to Steph Curry is Klay Thompson. So he's he hasn't been it hasn't been any ego relationship issues between those two during their dynasty, and I'm just hoping for the best as Klay chooses what he's going to do in the next phase of his career. I'm advocating for retirement, nonetheless, but we'll see what happens. But tonight, let's not even talk about that, man. It's kind of hurting my heart again. Like, I'm kind of breaking my heart. Kind of grew up with those Warriors, you know what I mean? All my prime playing years was during the Golden State Warriors rise, so it's kind of weird to see their dynasty ending, and then also sitting here not even thinking about it, bro. I didn't even think about it like this, but I kind of got into the end of my basketball career, per se. So it is definitely an end of an era. You know, I guess we all kind of moving on to the next chapter in our lives. So we'll see what happens on that situation. But as for tonight, got some exciting basketball. We'll see if the Miami Heat again can make another run for it. You know, with this core, um, I got all my money and all my. I ain't putting no bets on it, but my proverbial money. I got it on Himmy Butler in Miami tonight. But y'all tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section. Shout out to my boy Real Goons TV again. Make sure y'all swing by his channel and sub. Also the big homie Ticket TV, who I thoroughly enjoy. You know, I had to be getting some of his opinions. Sometimes I agree with Ticket, sometimes I don't, man. You know, he's a polarizing guy. What a guy. uh, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all I got for y'all. Go out there and get a goal accomplished. It's your boy Tony the Savant. Peace.